What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Machiavelli, and we back. And today, we're going to do a little brainstorm, a little freestyling. But we got Umar. Let's see what Umar talking about. He said we got heated debate versus David Bond. And guess, I think this is about Kamala, but we'll see. Let's get it.
Look like I got a red button on mine. Let me see if I can. Okay, now you hear.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Baba Day?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm live and direct from Eastern Michigan University, Ypsilanti, Michigan, about 30 minutes from Detroit, where I keynoted the Black Consciousness Conference yesterday and the day before.
Okay. What was your message?
My message was solidarity. My message was don't be emotionally co-opted by either presidential candidate. It is not enough to vote for Donald Trump because he is talking about doing something economically for African people. Let us remind ourselves that while he was president for 4 years, he did very little, if anything at all, economically for African people. He didn't start talking about a platinum package until it was time to run again for a second term.
I'm with him when he right. Umar was right on that one, so gotta pay attention.
Then former Vice President Joe Biden. And so now he's talking about economics, but you had 4 years in office. At the conclusion of the George Floyd protest for justice, Donald Trump passed the historic Hispanic Prosperity Initiative. Why are you passing a Hispanic Prosperity Initiative at the end of the George Floyd protest? Where was the American African Prosperity Initiative? And on the other side of the aisle, with our Asian American, South Asian American, occasionally black candidate Kamala Harris, she sat in the White House with President Biden for 4 years and watched him pass an anti-Asian hate bill. She watched him pass an anti-transgender hate bill. She watched him give billions of dollars to Ukraine and Afghanistan. She watched him purge and gentrify black people out of Chicago and New York, among other cities, because we now know that there are migrant crises growing in other cities. And she did nothing. And this is after she said on an interview that she can't do anything just for black people. Well, if you can't do anything just for black people, Vice President Harris, how was it possible? Excuse me, how is it possible for you guys to do something just for gays, just for Asians, just for Native Americans, just for migrants? Complete contradiction. And so for me, at this point right now, with 3 months to go until the November 5th election, Baba David, I don't have a reason to vote for either of them.
Okay, but you won't vote for either, but a no vote for her, isn't that like a vote for him?
I completely disagree because
I disagree too. You can't say that unless you expect her to automatic win. I don't expect her automatic win. I can't even agree with that if he would have said that for Trump. But I would have understood more if he would have said, "Oh well, a no vote for neither ain't that an automatic vote for Trump?" Because I feel he'll win more so than her. But still, that's not automatic. So you can't use that argument. But let's see what Dr. Umar said.
even if a no vote is a no vote, it doesn't go to either candidate. Now, if no vote went to Donald Trump, then I could understand the mathematical assessment. But a no vote is a no vote. So it doesn't go.
See, the man just said the same exact thing I just said. And I ain't hear him say that before I heard it. This is my first time listening to it too. So, yeah, he just said the same thing I said. So,
I'm thinking about mathematically. Let's say we have 7 million voters. 350 million want to vote for Donald Trump. But
Yes.
but 250 million say, well, I'm not going to vote at all. So that 350 million would still go to him, and the other votes would not even be counted. And that's what I meant by a no vote is a vote for him. Because every vote we take away, somebody else is going to vote for him.
I hear what question. Here's my question. Here's my question, Baba.
Yes.
Whether a no vote for Kamala Harris goes to former President Trump or not, here's my question to the American African community. What have we been promised from Vice President Kamala Harris that would require us to vote? What have we been promised from former President Trump that will require us to vote? What I see going on, Baba David, is I am seeing dysfunctional identity politics where black people, many of whom claim that mixed race Africans are not black, but the same Negroes who will say that mixed race Africans are not black will call Kamala Harris black. So make up your mind. And she's not even 50%. She don't have a black parent. She has a mixed race parent. Hold on.
I want to say.
Hold on, Baba.
Okay,
She has a
okay.
mixed race parent.
Okay.
Her father is half Jamaican African.
Mm-hmm.
She is a quadroon. She is 1/4 black. Here's the point that I'm making.
Quadroon.
For those who are into identity politics, she doesn't meet the criteria of being black by many of their standards. So I'm hearing black people say, I'm going to vote for her just because she's black. But according to many American Africans' definition of being black, because many of us reject mixed race, I don't. I'm a Pan-Africanist, I don't. But many of them reject mixed race Africans, but they're qualifying Kamala Harris because they need to believe in her so badly. Here's my last point, Baba David. There's been 14 presidential elections since Dr. King's assassination. 14 presidential election cycles since 1968. Can you please name the one that benefited black people? And if we cannot name the election cycle out of the past 14 presidential elections since Dr. King's assassination, if we can't name the presidential administration that changed something systemically for the American African people, why then are we emotionally rallying our people up to be exploited once again?
Hey, we didn't lose you, did we?
No, it's frozen.
Okay, well, we got to take a break.
In the Matrix.
I don't know if he's frozen, if he can hear me or not. So let me take the break.
In the
And
Matrix.
come back, and hopefully he'll be back with
I can hear you.
Okay, before we take a break, I wanted to say that people talk about, well, she ain't 100% black. I thought, what happened to the one drop of black blood? And I also wanted to say, Bob Marley had a white father. So does that mean that he's not black?
I will come back to
Bob
that.
Marley was said African, Baba. He had a black mother. Kamala Harris doesn't have a black mother. She has a mixed race father.
Oh, so it's the
She is not mixed race.
It's
So
the
what's
female lineage.
the quadroon?
So it's the female.
Quadroon is 1/4.
Okay, we gotta take a break.
Well, men don't.
No, it's not. It's not gender, Goofy. He's saying that Bob Marley mama was black. She came from here. She was the original foundational black American. You know what I'm saying? She don't have neither of that. Neither one of her parents was born here. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken. So that's why I think the difference he's trying to make.
Okay, bye, Bob.
Okay, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, I don't know why I got this echo. Can we do something about that, Nicholas?
Well, we're going to take a break and see what we can do when we get back. David Barnes, photo man for you too, and I'm your host on this Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde Johnson edition of New World View.
Dr. Umar
So, Dr. Johnson, I hear my
Ifatunde.
echo is going. Nicholas told me what I needed to do, and now I can hear you clear, and I hear myself twice. So, what I wanted to say is, and Patrick had a question for you as well. Do you believe in voting or just not voting for president?
I believe in voting when I have a reason to vote.
Okay, that's good.
That my vote is so important and valuable to me, I do not waste it. I don't vote because I can. I would liken that to walking into a supermarket and buying stuff just because you have money. Who walks into a Galleria mall and starts buying things just because they have a credit card, just because they have a checkbook, just because they have money? I think we would call that the definition of insanity.
Or
But
impulse
telling black
buying.
people just because they can, to me, is ridiculousness. And we also have to keep in mind as well, Baba David, that the main strategy used to influence black people to vote is fear. That is how they get black people out to vote. The number one propaganda point that you hear being pushed by the Democratic Party plantation slaves is if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, Trump will win. That's not a reason to vote. I'm going to vote because Kamala
Your local fast food chains could be getting a big facelift soon.
Streets in the black community that is going to give our people jobs. So our young men can stop killing each other in the name of crime and financial desperation. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's going to pass legislation to deal with the femicide in our black community. Everything from sexual trafficking, everything to the brutality and slaughter of defenseless black women, to the amount of black women who are dying while they're trying to give birth to their children, okay, as well as the high infant mortality rate, which is one of the highest in the developed world. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because she promises to radically transform and reconstruct the special education to prison pipeline. In other words, I will gladly cast the vote for Kamala Harris, or I will gladly cast the vote for former President Trump if they give me some food on my plate. But to ask me to sit down and give me a fork and a spoon and act like I'm enjoying a meal when there's no food on my plate, it's absolutely insanity.
Man, he said I couldn't say it no perfect, man. That's facts right there. They basically selling you a dream of some steaks, but only giving you the plate and the utensils, and you sitting there at the dinner table like, hey man, where the food at? You smelling it, you know what I'm saying? While you looking over there, they over there eating in the kitchen. While y'all sitting they eating in the kitchen.
A reason to vote. I do not vote because I can, and I will not vote out of fear.
But also, as you mentioned about the strategy and the plan, the propaganda, I would be one to believe that part of the propaganda would be to try to convince black people, don't come out and vote, just stay home and vote. It ain't going to do you no good. And then a lot of black people will follow that propaganda and won't come out and vote. I believe the turnout numbers are already so low.
Bobby David, we got to go back to the book. But Bobby David, what are they voting for? You still haven't given me a reason. What are they voting for Kamala Harris for? You understand what I'm saying? You can't just say vote for her, because we don't like Trump. That's fair politics. That's fair politics. What has Joe Biden did for black people?
What has any of them done? Ain't none of them done nothing.
Obama do for black people?
Nothing. None of them done nothing for us. They have none of them have done anything for us, and that is why I say.
Thank you. So why are we voting then?
Because
if we've had 14 presidential cycles, Bobby David,
right.
and the past 57 years.
That's right.
14 presidential elections in 57 years, and nobody can tell me one systemic change that we've gotten from the red team or the blue team.
Because
what we got to understand is the left wing and the right wing, the red wing and the blue wing are still parts of the same bird that is doing all over Black America.
But still, if you look at it, if the turnout is only minimal, 20% turnout.
Oh boy, it's a guess on there. Y'all can't see. He trying to get in where he fit in, so he's so and now one of them let him get no airtime, especially Umar. He on that motherfucker, hogging all the motherfucker mic. It's my mic. He do that from time to time. Nigga, this is my mic.
somebody's going to win the election. So if we stay home, somebody's going to win. And if they convince with their propaganda,
But do we win propaganda? But do we win propaganda?
If that's the case, if we don't come out, we certainly can't win.
Will win. No.
Dr. Omar.
You're
See, it's not Baba Davis. It's the host, Baba Davis, and Umar going back and forth. Even though Umar is still dominating the mic over Baba Davis, whoever, that's what he called him, Baba Davis. It's a third person on there. It's 3 people all total. And he on there, he still trying to get in where he fit in. So I know, I know Dr. Umar for let him have it. I know he for let him have it. Let's see.
rationalizing your position by taking the negative. I'm asking you to rationalize your position by taking the positive.
Dr. Omar.
The Black American gain by voting for either candidate. What do we gain?
If I'm trying to explain,
stop using fear mongering.
I'm not scared. I'm trying to legitimize my position. What I'm saying is that if we came out in numbers, we could elect whoever we wanted. When I was at WHAT, we were running a couple of African candidates right here in Philadelphia. Harry Masala, who is Ethiopian, and we was running Dr. Ulu Fadiyidi. He was running for judge. We thought that we had such a strong voice in the black community on WHAT. We just knew we was going to win over. But the black people didn't come out and vote. And the white people came out and voted for their candidate, and our candidate lost. So it's my position that if instead of trying to tell people they don't need to come out and vote, I'm trying to tell people if all of us came out and voted, then we could get what we wanted.
Baba David, what was your candidate promising black people, or was this simply another useless identity vote because the candidate was black?
I would agree with that, because that's I often say we make no demands. We make no demands on the politicians.
See, he left that out. He had like, oh, we just didn't, or they just didn't show up to vote when they ain't had nothing to show up to vote for. He left that out. He goofy.
I do not vote because people are black.
I don't either.
I do not vote because people are black.
No.
I vote because they're going to do something for my community.
Dr. Omar.
Yes, Patrick.
Dr. Omar, how are you doing?
Patrick.
All is well, my
Dr.
brother.
Umar.
It's been a long time, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
looking at the, hypothetically, right? Who is the best devil that you can actually cast your vote for? Looking at
I do not engage in the less.
Why do they keep asking the same goddamn question in a different way? These motherfuckers like they slow. He asked the same he just told you he not voting for nobody because of such and such, and then you ask him right again why you not voting, and he finna tell him right again. That's why I say he gonna get off on him.
Of the two evils narrative.
So how do we participate?
Evil, it does not come in degrees.
How do we participate?
Evil is evil.
How do we participate in the election, or how do we participate in what affects?
My fault not to apologize, but we gotta understand that it don't matter if we sit this one out. Like, damn, if we didn't not set out all the elections, at least the ones that we could participate in, and shit still ain't happen. So what the fuck we so scared of not voting this time? What's gonna happen different? We ain't got shit in the previous elections. So what the fuck different gonna happen in this one if we sit out? I don't understand that shit.
We should do. It was very slow. I tell you what we should do. We have 3 months. 3 months.
Yes.
What black people should do right now is organize ourselves into a powerful, all black national union. Our votes should be tied together with all of our mutual consent, and we must pledge to one another that we're voting one way.
Okay.
The black vote will be treated like a single vote.
Gotcha.
And we put Republican National Committee
Yes.
and the Democratic National Committee.
Yes.
And we demand an audience with both candidates, our own convention. because we are not Republicans or Democrats. We are Africans.
Yes.
They will come and give us an audience in our community.
There you go.
And we will ask the questions that are relevant.
Yes.
And that
He in the matrix right now.
I would agree with that. Yes. I would agree with that.
We will argue, we will reason, and we will choose a candidate.
Matrix.
And that candidate will get every single black vote who has joined our national black political union. And we will promise them before November 5th,
Yes. Dr.
you
Omar.
are going to because of black people. And if you deliver, will
Fix
not
your
get a
Wi-Fi.
single vote the next election.
Yeah.
That is how you do business.
Fix your
Not
Wi-Fi.
telling black people to vote out of fear, not telling black people to vote out of identity politics, not telling black people to vote because
I wish that we could pull something together like that in this next 3 months. We should have been pulling that together the last 3 years. Last 300 years, we should have been doing that. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do that in 3 months. I think that if we did that, we could make a lot more demands on any politician on any level.
nothing is impossible with the Most High.
So I agree.
No,
So,
Robert David is
I agree.
impossible with the Most High.
I
Don't say we
totally
can't
agree.
do it.
okay.
Don't say we can't do it. Yes, we can do it.
Dr.
Yes,
Omar.
we can.
Dr. Omar. You see, the statement you just made really is the option that I agree with better than not voting at all, because the issue that I have is that we do not have a bargaining chip as black people. We don't have a platform. There's one thing talking about it, but there's another thing
Yes, we
actually
do.
organizing ourselves. Because what you say right now, it needs some leadership within the black community to reorganize ourselves and create a platform and a bargaining chip to actually move our vote to not only black candidate, but anybody who actually speaks our voice.
Well, you know, Dr. Umar, I
Yes.
use your analogy. I think it may have been even last week that you say that Philadelphia is the fastest growing and the #1 gentrified city in the whole country. And I'm saying to myself, the community in which I live in, every time I look around, I see other people walking around in my neighborhood, and it's more and more and more and more and more of them. And I'm saying to myself, pretty soon they are going to be the majority in my neighborhood. And when it comes time to get whatever scarce resources are available through the city, they will vote for what they want. They will press their politicians to do their bidding. And while we stay home and don't vote and don't participate, we'll be sitting by and saying, what happened? We don't got no more power. I don't know what happened.
I can agree with him on that, but that's what we strategize and let motherfucker know that while we sitting out, it ain't just gonna be repetition of sitting out and just saying the hell with it. No, it's not saying the hell with it. It's, hey, if y'all need our votes, y'all have to earn them. That's why.
Look, in the point, Baba, that black people don't have nothing to vote for. What is Kamala? Those very same immigrants, Baba David, that are flooding your neighborhood. Who's bringing them there? The Democratic Party, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris. Who is bringing the migrants into New York, Chicago, and I soon hear Philadelphia? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Democratic Party. So on the one hand, you say vote for Kamala Harris, but you just gave me a reason why she's causing problems for black people.
We got to go to the phone line. I know a lot of people want to talk about this. We'll go to the phone lines and talk.
I don't like how he skipped over that. You gotta explain yourself. Why did you just skip over that fact, what he just said, and talking about you going to the call line? No. Explain yourself, boy.
Is that okay? Brother, okay.
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing today? Brother, okay in Delaware. How you doing today?
No, this is Brother Bahokay. I was calling you from Delaware County. We spoke before. Dr. Umar, how you doing, Doc?
Peace and Pan-Africanism, my brother.
How you doing? Okay. The reason I'm calling is because of this. I don't have a dog in any race with this particular election, and we've had this problem before when Barack Obama was running, and everybody was saying, well, he's black, even though he got a white mother, but they didn't bother to look at what his policies were for both candidates. We don't vote collectively as on a logical and on a logical level. We don't do that. We're busy focusing on emotion, and just bringing people in because they're black. And we got to look at Kamala's track record. How many brothers had she locked up when she was in California?
Were they criminals? Were they criminals that she locked up? Or she locked up innocent people?
Some of them wasn't.
Do you know that for sure?
From my research,
I'm just saying that because people are like, well, she locked up all of them, but they was criminals. She was doing her job. You got exaggerated.
Okay.
But it sounds to me like people are trying to find excuses not to vote for her. And I don't think that's right.
I don't get it.
Listen.
Stay home. Go and join Donald Trump, brother.
Wells Fargo just warned its clients that all checking accounts.
I'm saying because if you don't vote for him, he's going to win. It's plain and simple. It's mathematically impossible.
Why did we lose if he wins?
Because we're going to see the same thing we saw before. We're going to see the same thing we saw before.
Okay, brother.
Okay. You see the same thing. What did you get the past 4 years under Joe Biden in the Democratic Party?
Well, one thing, Donald
gained the past 4 years under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Please tell me.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is promising a whole lot of damage. He is promising a whole lot of damage.
We need to change.
Democratic Party plantation slavery is in pain.
Dr. Omar, you have a lot of influence, and I think that I need to say this to you. What you do and the influence you have, I think we need you to really organize the black community and the black consciousness instead of just pointing out what we need to do, because pointing out is one thing and organizing really on the ground is another thing, and I think you are capable of helping us do that. How do you do that? How do you help us?
We need. Well, let's give him a chance to think about it while we take a break. By producer, we take a break. Maybe he'll let us know how we, not just him, it ain't his thing, how we all can organize. And I said one of the ways to organize is get out, organize, and let people say, if we come together collaboratively, we can elect anybody we want. We're going to take a break when we come back after this brief break. We're having a very spirited conversation. In fact, was looking forward to this because we started this conversation, Dr. Umar, about you even last week when you weren't even here. Is my microphone open? Let me see. Was my microphone open? Okay. So we had this conversation last week. I think we had Phil Washington all the way in Florida called in and was saying, I'm with the Dr. Umar Johnson School about Kamala Harris and she locked up all those people. But I was just in the hallway and some people were saying, well, somebody's going to win. If we don't vote, somebody's going to win. And I know you're saying, why just give you one away?
But we win.
Okay.
Do we win? I don't care who wins. Do we win? Do black people win by voting?
I don't
care if Kamala Harris wins. I don't care if Donald Trump wins. Do we win? That's the only thing I'm caring about. Do black people win by voting for either candidate?
Dr. Omar, who do you think that you can actually bring to the table to talk to today if you have the opportunity to engage one of them? Who do you think you can engage, and who do you think, based on what you know about them, will at least give you an audience?
Okay. First of all, and here we go again, I think we approach politics too much from a personal preference standpoint. Elections are business, and it is the business of choosing who you want to carry on the business of the country.
That's a question I got to ask you.
Business of
Let him finish. Okay.
Hold on. And the business of liberation. So when you say which one, it's not about which one. You meet with both of them. I don't have any loyalty to Kamala Harris. I don't have any loyalty to Donald Trump. They not my friends. Both of them have been in the White House for 4 years, and neither one of them did anything for black people. So this ain't got nothing to do with personal preference. This is business. We have to learn to take our emotions out of this. This is not even
Facts. This is a business decision. This is a business transaction. This ain't even about no emotion of who I like more and who is the lesser evil and all this goofy shit motherfucker keep talking about. This is a business. This is a good business deal or not?
we must engage in non-emotional strategic thinking. Let me say that again. Non-emotional strategic thinking, not emotional politics and identity politics. I want to meet with both of them. Both of them. We just had a situation in Chicago where 3 sisters representing the National
Association of
Black Journalists met with Donald Trump. It was an absolute failure. It was an absolute failure. Those sisters were emotional. That whole conversation was more about protecting Kamala Harris than really asking him critical questions. I didn't hear nothing about mass incarceration. I didn't hear nothing about miseducation. I didn't hear nothing about reparations. What I saw was 3 emotional black women who were going out of their way to try to humiliate the former president in order to endorse the current vice president. That's not what you do. We all know what Donald Trump believes. We already know what Donald Trump feels. Ask him about the issues that matter to black people. They did not do that. They were emotional. We will get nothing from either party if we keep on engaging in emotion.
And that was just an example, really, of what you're going to get with Kamala Harris as the president. A bunch of nothing. A bunch of nothing.
I'm really glad that we had you on here. I was cautious, but I say, you have a very strong voice, like Patrick said. You're very influential. As a matter of fact, that is why I say doesn't matter to me whether I agree with you or not. Whether you agree with me, I don't care. We can be disagreeable. I'm gonna still love you as a very influential brother. And I've known
Of course.
and I've known you since I remember when you and Tyson Price was just coming up. And I said, these brothers got a lot to say, and I still to this day want to hear what you got to say. And I don't care if I agree with you or not. But we have a caller on the phone line from Germany. We have Rick wants to chime in on the conversation.
How you doing, fellas?
Good.
Good day, Dr. Umar.
Peace and love.
I got a simple question for you. Did Kamala Harris sponsor or help put together an anti-lynching law while she was a senator?
The first anti-lynching bill in American history that was approved by the federal government was passed a few months ago while Kamala Harris was the vice president. There was no anti-lynching bill in American history that existed before that one got passed. So if you're saying, did she get us an anti-lynching bill while she was whatever she was before she came to the White House? Absolutely not. We just got the first anti-lynching bill in history of this country, which is weak, very soft, doesn't really hold anybody accountable, and we got that a few months ago under President Biden and Vice President Harris.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick, for tuning in. So now, I know that you say we should not be concerned necessarily about who wins, but somebody's going to win. And if you listen to Donald Trump, he intends to do a whole lot of damage, especially to black folks. And that's why I said, well, maybe she will. But at least she ain't telling us what she's going to do, so we should believe him and not.
Did you see that picture, Bob and David, that Kamala Harris tweeted from her Twitter account a couple months ago, where she said, President Biden and I are absolutely committed to promoting minority businesses. And she had about 10 or so people in the picture. This is a tweet from her account a couple months ago. I'm going to text you the picture.
Okay.
And she said, the president and I are absolutely committed to supporting minority businesses, right? Something to that effect. And guess what, Baba? There was about 10 people in the picture. Not a single black person in this picture of minority businesses. She already told you she ain't thinking about no black folks. She told us over and over and over again. She not thinking about you. Yes, She's going to bring back diversity, equity, and inclusion. But she's going to bring it back for her East Indian people. She's going to bring it back for Latinos. She's going to bring it back for homosexuals, for Chinese, for Asian.
I disagree with you, Dr. Umar.
Bring it back for black folks.
This is the first time I will disagree with you. This is what I want to say, Dr. Umar. I was talking to somebody yesterday in Delaware, right? They have a lot of these small business loans in Delaware. And a lot of the minorities in Delaware could not benefit from that loan. But I know that they have the same in Philadelphia here, and I know that many people from Philadelphia area who are minority business owners, at least, are beneficiaries of those loans. So what I'm trying to say is that, see, when the federal government sends some monies to the local governments, it's about us, those at the local level, really making sure that those monies go to where they belong to. So
Care about the freaking businesses.
So we talking about
Minority black African businesses.
Yes, but the thing is that this is a presidential election. But the issue too is that what are we, the local governments, actually local leaders, doing to make sure that when we get those monies, we are actually sending those monies to where they belong to?
I don't know.
Are you aware minority anything that's not black? Are you aware that minority includes anything that's?
Oh yes, yes. It's not only about color.
Women.
I know it's not only about color. Mm-hmm. Yes, I know that it's not only about color. It's about the
other than white.
Yes, yeah. So it could be anybody.
You're aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
When you say minority businesses, right? Do you realize that they can give support to minority businesses and not a single black person gets anything? You do realize that, right?
Yes.
For sure.
It's happening.
We need to qualify our demands as American African people, not as minorities.
Right.
Stop letting Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the Democratic machine lump us in with all non-white people, because those other non-white people cannot stand black people any more than Caucasians. We are not minorities. We are not people of color. We are the American Africans who built this country.
You want to know the key? We call them gay.
Country,
That's
and
facts.
we should be treated as a separate, unique,
That's
and
facts.
distinct group of people, as they do when they deal with Native American affairs. Ask Kamala Harris, is she going to create an office, a department of American African affairs? Ask her that. If she says she will, I might vote for her. Tell her to create a presidential cabinet level position for American African affairs with a federal director whose job is to look after the best interest of the American African people. Ask her if she's willing to do that. I promise you she won't.
That'd be a nice gesture. Real. We could do that. Yeah, they got all the other stuff for everybody else. We need that. We can use that. I'm with that.
I agree with most of the things that you say, but I don't hear you saying ask Donald Trump nothing. You said, you keep saying, you saying now it's the same thing, but in your presentation, it seems to be anti-Kamala.
No, sir, that is incorrect.
Okay, and I agree.
Ask both of them. But most black people.
See, this way he act like he's slow. Although, yeah, we supposed to be asking both parties. We've been voting Democrat since forever. So we feel they owe us anything more than the Republicans. Y'all owe us. We've been voting for y'all. We've been getting y'all the seat. So, and y'all been not giving us nothing. What are you talking about?
Are not thinking about Donald Trump. They're thinking about voting for Kamala Harris.
But what I hear is,
get the questions.
But what I hear is you. In fact, we have somebody that always said that Dr. Umar is just a black female basher, and I said that definitely is not true. He is uphold the integrity of black women.
He ain't
That's
even
just I've
black.
known
She
them.
identify as black. I can show you 5 interviews of Kamala Harris being called South Asian, and
What would you consider her?
she doesn't once correct an interview.
What do you
And
consider
say,
her to
I'm
be?
not only South Asian, I'm also Jamaican African or Jamaican American or American African. She is a proud Southeast Indian woman. She has a right to be a proud Southeast Indian woman, and nobody's going to manipulate my emotions or my consciousness to vote for a black woman who's only black when it benefits her. And I'm not voting for Donald Trump either because he ain't got nothing on my plate. How you going to pass a Hispanic Prosperity Initiative at the end of the George Floyd protest? That was the insult to every American African. Donald Trump executed approximately 13 people while he was president of these United States. It was the most federal death warrants signed since slavery. And 5 of them were black men whose death warrants Donald Trump signed in the final days of his presidency after Joe Biden was already elected but had not yet been sworn in. That white man killed black men, 2 of whom were thought to be innocent, and their lawyers were trying to get a stay of execution from the Supreme Court, but it got denied, and Donald Trump signed those black men's life away. So I'm no more for him or her. I'm for black liberation. I'm for black justice. I'm for black equality.
I have a
And
question for
nobody
you.
from the Democratic Party,
we gotta take a break.
plantation slave regime, is going to make Dr. Umar vote for anybody until you show me what they're going to do for my people.
I have a suggestion for you.
Yeah, but Patrick, you got to hold on, Patrick. We got to take a break.
Yeah, I got a
Come back.
suggestion for you.
We got to take a break, and I had some questions.
I got a suggestion for Dr.
All right,
Omar.
but we're going to take a break, and we come right back. And we're back live in the studios of 96.1 FM. I'm going to have to call security up in here because this is getting heated up in here. Dr. Umar, they trying to bash you up in here, but I ain't going for that. I don't go for that. That's my man. Y'all can bash him all you want. Talk about what he do. He do a lot. Matter of fact, he going to tell us right now how the school is coming along. Can you hear me, Doctor?
Oh, you need Frederick Douglass Martin Academy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Bob?
Answer loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we have about 1 or 2 coats of paint that are still necessary on the walls of the classrooms. Once that's done, we have 11 rooms. About 6 of them need.
I want to have a suggestion for Dr. Omar. Dr. Omar, I have always have a lot of respect for you and your influence. Can we actually have a movement? Because I think that with you and with your background, with all your experience, and with your influence in the African community, if we have a movement led by you, we will really create a great platform politically and socially to really, that will benefit our community. Can we have a movement?
We got a movement. He has a movement going on right now. It's called the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. How much more can you move to try to move our young people into themselves? See, people, what he does, I say he raised consciousness. That's what he does. We have Phil. It's Phil calling in from Florida. Hey, Phil, how you doing today?
Hey, Brother Dave, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good and wonderful.
Good afternoon, Brother Omar.
Appreciate you, Bob.
Here?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, listen, Omar. I got on the show yesterday, and I'm a part of David Bourne's crew with Health and Wellness, and I just wanted to just tell you that you brought up a very good point because our propensity as Black people to be so emotional during this election, I feel like we're wasting time. And one thing Blacks don't do is that you mentioned, and I concur with you 100%, is take the emotion out, be still, try to understand the political system, and look at the economy of our people and make sure that these people are interested in our people. And if you realize that they're not interested with our people, we need to put energy into other areas. And I explained it today, the last time I called in, but I just want to thank you for your commitment, your understanding, your education, and your journey, which most Black people don't have a journey. They just very, very emotional, and they don't understand this political system that
that we're in that was never designed for us, but trying to fight through it and trying to make sure that they recognize us and uplift and that we uplift ourselves is really the task at hand. So I just want to thank you for the energy and your school and all the things you're doing, brother.
Thank you so much, Phil. And you can all listen out for Phil Washington the 5th Sunday of every month here at New World View. Dr. Johnson, I had a question. So now, if we don't organize in this next 3 months, am I to understand you saying that all black people need to not vote?
I would never tell a black person not to vote, and I never have told a black person not to vote. Because you do no harm by voting, but you do a groundswell of good by organizing and voting together as a single community. Mm-hmm. So black people are going to do what we've done the past 14 presidential elections. We're going to go out and vote our heart and vote our minds and vote our emotions. And whoever gets in office will not have to be accountable to us because we did not require them to be so before we cast out.
I agree. Wow, we can't do this in 3 months. Like you say, all things are possible.
You're supposed to have
I agree with that. But still, we need to organize long before the election and make specific demands. And then I think we will be stronger.
I absolutely. But here's the thing. The reason this is such a hot topic right now is President Biden did something that I don't think withdrew his candidacy as president of the United States for a second term just before the Democratic National Convention and only a few months before the next presidential election. We haven't seen that happen in our lifetime, and it may have been the first time it happened at all. Most black people were absolutely disinterested in the next election when their options were limited to former President Trump and current, justifiably so, because neither one of those Caucasians did anything for black people with their 4 years. But when Kamala Harris decided to run, when Joe Biden gave her his blessing, when the Democratic National Committee said that she was likely to be their nominee, when black people and white people and so-called people of color raised millions of dollars for her overnight, black people were energized to once again get interested in the election because she's a woman and she's often misrepresented as a black woman. And so that's why black people are interested now, Baba, because all of this happened within the past 2 to 3 weeks. Black people would not be this excited about this election if it was still Trump or Biden. And the reason the Democrats went with Kamala Harris and not a Democrat, because there's other qualified Democrats, they went with Kamala Harris because there were 10 million more women, regardless of race. There were 10 million more women in America registered to vote than men during the last midterm. So the Democrats are hoping that Kamala Harris, being a woman and being black and being so-called person of color, that she will be able to attract to the Democratic Party the lion's share of those 10 million women who outnumber men in the next election. That's why they're putting her out front.
Yeah, we have Cynthia on the phone line, but before we go to Cynthia, I want to reiterate again that you appear to have a lot of negative things to say about Kamala, but I don't hear you say a lot of negative things about Donald Trump.
We can talk about Trump if you want. Most black people
I don't want to talk negatively about anybody.
No,
getting an LLC for your business doesn't have to work.
I'm not loyal to no Caucasians or East Indians. I'm loyal to African liberation. So if you want to talk about Trump, let's talk about Trump. But nobody's going to sit here and act like I'm a Trumper or a Trump loyalist. I'm not voting for him, and I just gave you 2 big reasons why. But I am not going to endorse this woman just because she claims to be black when it benefits her. I'm not doing it. And
all right, well, let's talk to Cynthia on the phone.
Because of her identity.
Good afternoon, Cynthia.
Well, good afternoon. Peace and blessings.
See what the woman.
It's about her not having nothing on the.
Shut up, Umar. I agree with you. Shut up. Let's see what the woman got to say. By the time they got some, I don't care if I agree with it or not. Let's ease it out. Hear what the woman got to say, Umar. Shut up.
Dr. Omar, we have somebody on the phone. So, yes, we have somebody on the phone, Dr. Omar.
Yes. I'm almost forgetting what I wanted to ask.
Right.
I've been on here so long. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Omar, I heard you say that we need to listen to both Kamala and Trump. I don't want to listen to Trump no more. I don't want to hear anything he says.
Emotion.
Because I know who he is. We don't need to keep listening to him. Okay? We
And why
know
should we
what
listen
he's
to her?
to do.
And we're listening to her. Why, my sister? We're listening to Kamala Harris. Why? I understand you don't want to listen to Trump. Why should we listen to her?
No, you won't let me finish.
I'm asking a question. Why should we listen to her?
I want to finish. I need no more information about Trump. Anyone that wants to uphold him and vote for him, they're foolish. Kamala Harris, I'm choosing her because of some positive things she has done. Now, it's not 100%.
Like what?
It's not 100%.
Like what?
A few things. I mean, I'm not here on the phone to do that. But
what has she done for black
people? I gotta listen to Trump.
People, you said she's done some things. Well, you ain't gave me an answer yet.
I apologize, Cynthia. He's coming kind of hard on you.
He gonna Captain Saver. He come Captain Saver. Now he talking about you beating up on the sister. He asked his sister a simple question. Was nothing disrespectful or nothing. Come on, bro. You making yourself look bad and soft with that. I hate when they do that. Fuck out of here.
Be so negative towards Kamala, but you sweet. You're trying to be sweet to Donald Trump. I don't understand that. It seems like you're being anti-black.
I'm being anti-black by not voting for a woman who's anti-black. Please explain that.
I don't know how you can say that you're anti-black
by not voting for a woman who's anti-black. Please.
I don't know. I ain't seen it being anti-black.
Why is how is she anti-black though, Dr. Omar?
Because she sat in an interview. It's all over YouTube. I'll send you the clip where she was asked what was she going to do for black people when she got elected.
They all say that. Every mayor we've had in Philadelphia said the same thing. I'm not the mayor of Black Philadelphia. All of them say it. Barack Obama says the same thing.
Said we're not going to do anything. She said we're not going to do anything just for black people. Those are her exact words. Her exact words. I am quoting her. We are not going to do anything just for black people.
That is so. It looks like she was talking. I mean, see, Dr. Omar, you were talking about not as being emotional, but it looks like
you're defending white supremacy. You're defending white supremacy, and you ain't gave me one reason why we should vote for her yet. Neither one of you have given me a single reason why black people should vote for Kamala Harris. You want Donald Trump, but you ain't got a reason for this.
But you don't say that. You don't say either or. We got Wes on the phone line on Southwest Philadelphia. Good afternoon, Wes. Wes said he ain't did this.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, I hear you.
Can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to direct my comment specifically to Dr. Umar, if I may. And Dr. Umar, as a black man who lives here in Philadelphia, I am an elder, and I simply want to say to you, I appreciate the fact that you speak, act, and walk as a black man, and that you do so unapologetically, because there seems to be a concerted effort across the country right now to force black men to stand in line, to get in line, and to sort of get on board with everything we're being told. You're asking them, they're not reality right in our faces as we're being deprioritized. Oh boy, you're being devalued and you're being pushed aside. by other people who have not made similar contributions to the United States.
Fact.
They're being given things in your face.
On real,
So
they
thank you for
ain't
standing
did nothing
up.
for this country.
That we
All right, thank you, Wes, so much for that. We got somebody else on the phone line?
Thank you.
Okay, who we got on the phone line? Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
What's your first name? Where you calling
Another
from?
sister,
My
another
name is
sister.
Mary, and I'm calling from Jersey.
Hey,
sister.
Jersey.
And I'm sick of listening to Umar.
The sisters coming in talking about they sick of Umar. That's because, you know, it's a woman at hand in the presidency, or, you know, a candidate rather. So, you know, they coming to defend it. They coming to defend it. Not all, but
That's Dr. Umar. That's the Dr. Umar.
Well, then act like a doctor and stop criticizing everybody. Bottom line, people who...
Emotions, non-emotional strategic thinking.
Hater. You are a black woman.
We're emotional, my sister. We can't win being emotional.
You criticize everybody. I ain't never seen you do anything for black people.
Hey, we're not going to attack our guests either.
Calm down, my beautiful African
All right, caller from New Jersey. We got your point. Thank you so much.
Calm down, Queen.
Because, you know, I don't want nobody attacking our guests. It's like I don't want nobody attacking our callers.
Yeah.
And you have seemed to be mighty emotional yourself today, Dr. Umar. We all are. Because it's a very touchy situation. We see it differently.
All right.
Action. I am
Passion. Oh, Anthony.
Come on there. She come on there. Rah, rah. Rah, 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 rah. Rah, rah, rah. Shut up. That's how you gotta tell her. You should have just said it. Shut up. Shit. Fuck up.
Dr. Omar is using semantics now. You are using semantics now. You are passionate.
Being emotional, be passionate.
Yeah, when black people say something about somebody, they're emotional, but you are passionate about it. Thank you. We love you too, Dr. Omar.
But you know, we needed this conversation because I want people to understand that. Again, I want to be clear. What is this person still on the phone?
Umar in the Matrix.
I want to be clear. So if every black person stayed home and didn't vote, and you say, well, it won't make no difference to them.
Look at
But
this.
what if it does make a difference? What if Donald Trump
shit.
gets in there and does a tremendous disservice to black people? Then what? You say, oh, we should have came out and voted.
No, I wouldn't have. Because guess what? What we fail to realize is when it comes to black people in America, the Democratic and Republican agenda for the American Negro is absolutely 100% identically the same. It don't matter who wins. You're going to catch the same hell regardless because we don't carry on our politics in a non-emotional, professional, and organized manner. They don't have to take us seriously because we are disorganized. So I don't care who vote for. You're getting nothing because you did not vote as a single unit.
Okay, let me ask you this. So, you remember the Affordable Care Act?
Man, that's 100% facts. It don't matter who win. If you black, you not getting shit. Y'all started talking about, Trump, man. Yeah, like you vote for Trump. And when the man said 20 times he ain't vote for Trump, man, he still, you anti-black. You gonna vote for Trump? Well, shut up. That's what we got to tell him.
Barack Obama presented. Did that help black people? Dr. Umar, you still here with us?
It's frozen now.
So the Affordable Care Act that they called Obamacare, I think that benefited black people a lot.
Like, first of all, affordable care was for Americans. It was not for the black community. Stop it.
It was for them.
Stop it. Barack Obama's gay laws were for gay people. Barack Obama's gay laws were for gay people.
They got black gays. It benefits black gays.
Stop it.
Okay, just like it benefit black gays, it benefit black citizens.
He sounds stupid.
The Affordable Care Act.
He sounds
How did
stupid.
somebody who's not homosexual
Exactly.
benefit from Barack Obama's homosexual
Exactly.
laws?
I didn't say I said it benefited the black homosexual.
Okay, but it didn't benefit. You are really.
No, Dr. Omar, Dr. Omar, there are benefits that we get from every law
He definitely.
that are sometimes not directly. If we're talking about law that protects anybody, any law that protects anybody in this country, it might not benefit you directly, but it will benefit you indirectly because the law is to protect people who are really suffering as a result of whatever they are. And so any law that protects anybody in this country, we're talking about protection. If it does
So,
protect them.
if by your standards, you go and bring more people over here who need help versus helping the people who already over here that need help. What sense does that make? That's goofiness. Shut up!
Or benefit from it indirectly.
Well, so Dr. Johnson, so what do you suggest we do then as a mass of black people?
If we're not going to get organized in strength to prepare for this election and get some demands and have some meetings with both candidates, and I believe 3 months is more than enough time to do that. But if we feel that we can't, let's organize for the next presidential election because it'll be here in 4 years.
Okay, but if we don't get together in these 3 months, then what should black people do?
Our lives are moving quicker and vote when they have nothing to vote for is insanity.
So I ask you, so what should black people do then?
Get organized to hold them accountable prior to November the 5th, or get organized to hold them accountable prior to November the 5th, 2028.
I agree with that. But I'm saying if they don't get organized by this November, what should black people do?
Vote for Kamala and
I'm asking
Democrats.
Dr. Johnson. If black people don't get organized by this November, what should black people do?
Let me get this real quick future.
Vote for blue.
We don't get organized for this election. The next election, black people will be completely irrelevant and they won't even discuss you.
Oh, wow. Some says that if he gets elected, there won't be no more elections. How about that?
You still ain't gave me a reason why we need to Kamala Harris.
You didn't give me an answer. I asked you. If we don't get...
See, this is another slow shit right here. They said the same stupid shit when he first went for president. Trump, oh, he gonna take it back to slavery. There wasn't nobody in slavery. I don't understand. Y'all keep making up these ghost rules, these ghost stories and shit. Scare tactics. Motherfucker, you sound like a bitch.
By November of this year, what should black people do?
Please get a straight answer.
I'm asking you a straight answer.
Vote for Kamala Harris.
You sound like a politician now, man. I asked you a question.
I'm a Pan-Africanist. I will never hold on.
Okay, but I asked you, if we don't get organized by November, what should black people do?
There's no other option, Bobby D. We don't have options. Organize or die. That's options. Organize or die.
Commit suicide, right?
Organize or die. That's your options right there. Organize or die.
So the focus is more on the black people to organize themselves than the candidates, right?
Of course, my brother.
Yes.
Self-determination. The candidates don't want you organized.
There you go.
Nobody wants organized black vote. Listen to me, fellas. Nobody wants an organized black vote because an organized black vote can hold candidates accountable. They don't want us to get organized. Y'all can't see that? They don't want you to get organized.
I can see my producers telling me we got to take a break. Yeah, see, I got to take a break. And when we come back, we want to continue the conversation in the studio with Dr. Umar and Ifatunde John.
Ifatunde.
Be right back.
And we're back live here in the studios of 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live worldwide at WURDradio.com. I don't have my other phone in here with me right now to give a shout out to all those
Ifatunde. I don't know where he came with that name.
I know Patrick, he may have something that he want to acknowledge.
Yes, I do have.
It's all good in the hood, though.
Let me see. Rashad Bey, and I have Diana Montag. Who else? Who else do we have here? Gary Bryan is there.
You don't skip through it like they shouting out some cash apps or something like that. I don't know. Skip through, see what they talking about. We ain't gotta hear that.
Trump or the vice president is not going to do nothing for us.
Okay.
I can just.
Registered African American. He won't. Had to go do some painting, Slomo. Exactly who that's going to be. Spread love. Hey, from you.
I guess that's it right there, ladies and gents. Yeah, that's it right there, though, y'all. Got Umar, you know what I'm saying, getting down on Kamala or whatnot, but it was a good take. I like the video. We'll stay in tune to see the thoughts, because everybody got their own thoughts. Me personally, I can't really necessarily say she black, because she ain't went through the hardships of the black people who's been here and people who come from slavery and go down and down that. She ain't from that, so that's the difference. It ain't like you ain't our brothers and sisters, but also with that being said, they don't act like they our brothers and sisters. So, but I'll be back with y'all with another one. This your boy, Machiavelli. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like, all that's right there for you. Y'all rock with your boy. It's me, Machiavelli.